Too much of the feeds have been irking me over the past 2 days. A lot of annoying stuff going on. I do feel like every season after the first 3 to 4 weeks, I start to get burned out on the players, on the game. So it's nothing new here. I just have to catch a second wind. But there is a lot of annoying stuff. We've talked about the poor gameplay. After a while, it does get pretty annoying. We'll get to that. But also the twist that's been added to the game. I never like a Big Brother twist. They are always a bad combination of just a bad idea and kind of pointless. And that's what we're getting with this twist, where we will just have a week not count. And I think that's a giant waste of time, in my opinion. They should have just gone with a battle back, a pre-jury battle back that is far more interesting than what we're getting. But especially now that we have this twist and 4 players got to play in the competition to get the power, it's made for some boring feeds, because that is about 75% of the topics. That is the topic for the past 2 days. It's just been who played in this, who do you think is going to win, what do you think it's going to be? That bores me. We know Suri and Matt for sure, though, because they told each other. I think one of those two may have actually won. That seems to be the speculation. Honestly, I don't care. I still think the power is pointless, and the winner might even be pointless from the look of it. So that's made for some boring feeds. You add on top of that all the feed cuts that happened this season. That's been even more annoying the last 2 days, because when you talk about the power, the feeds cut as well. Not a good 2 days of feeds, in my opinion. And then you have them always going back and forth each week about which move they should make. And I do think it has been illogical. I said this like a couple days ago, that it's kind of illogical for them to want to blindside players all the time in this game, because I don't think you have to go that far, even though that would make for better television. Despite that, the cast is killing me with these unanimous votes, because that should be the most clear-cut sign that everybody's playing a bad game. When you are constantly having unanimous votes, it means nobody's playing for themselves. And you would think that when you're in these games, you would look around and think that, but not this cast. Not that this cast actually thinks for the most part. I think the most tall tale sign that there's a lot of bad gameplay going on is the fact that there's unanimous votes. So we're probably going to get that again this week, another unanimous vote, because nobody's playing for themselves, really. We have Suri, Felicia, and Izzy as the power structure. It's really Suri. I mean, Suri does a great job socially, but she even does a good job of not being the target in the power structure. And maybe even turning Izzy and Felicia against each other. Jared telling Suri that Felicia tried to make a number one with him kind of made Suri feel some type of way about Felicia. But that really just works for Suri's game, because she is good at taking the target off of herself, putting it on other people. She's doing a brilliant job of that. Because, I mean, she's already nobody's target that's against her. But nobody's even against her because she's kind of aligned with everybody. She's working it real well. Unfortunately, though, we are going to get a unanimous vote, and I'm bored with it. They talk every week about possibly blindsiding somebody, going against the house, but then when it comes down to it, they don't do it. And sure, you can say maybe they find it more logical to not go that way, and that is fair, but when everybody's voting unanimously, you are playing a bad game. So it is a fact that everybody's playing a bad game. We've been talking about that for weeks now, that at a strategic level, it's been a mess. And Suri is controlling the game, though, because of her social game. And that's great for Suri. But it would be nice for some people to wake up. I feel like Corey is getting his brain back a little bit. It's when he's not with America a lot, he starts to think more strategically. But when he's with America, that is when she is the anchor that constantly brings him down. Corey's been telling tales that he is just playing America. That's just not the case. I don't even think America is playing him either, but I think both of them, whatever kind of game they're playing, I think America's playing him more than he's playing her. Only because, he does have this pathetic energy around her that I've talked about forever. And he's put his neck so far out on the line for her that it has hurt his own game. Another bad part of some of these players are the egos. Corey has an ego. Jared has an ego, of course. Cameron's so delusional with his ego. The men this season, their egos are getting in the way of their gameplay a lot. Jared is kind of getting his way again this week, though, because if they're going to keep Blue, that's what he wanted to do. I don't really understand how that's not coming back on him more. I do think it's starting to come back on him more, but not enough for my liking. I just need some more thinking going on in this game. There is a total lack of thinking. I talked about Blue last time. Her mind not in the game whatsoever. Something needs to change sooner rather than later, though, because the unanimous votes are already getting far old, and this twist is kind of taking me out of the game. I think that's the big thing. I need the twist to be over with, and then maybe we can move on from the twist and get back to mess. But I am tired of the mess we're getting. We're going to scramble and maybe do something big, and then we're not going to do it. It's getting old. I need more. The last 2 days of feeds have sucked. But like I said, I get like this every season after the first few weeks that I get a little burnt out. We do need more thinking, though. Let's be real. These people need to start thinking more because the unanimous votes, you're dumb. You're dumb.